Spring is finally here. We're getting some grass growth, birds are coming out, starting to warm up a little bit. It also means we've got to take care of our lawns now. A lot of people are starting to get robot lawnmowers. They're becoming a huge thing. They've been really increasing in popularity and becoming more affordable over the last couple of years. 2026 is going to be a ton of robot lawnmowers coming out with some really cool features, and I have a lot of reviews on those coming up, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon so you get notified when they actually post, so you don't have to go track them down. But what I thought I would do is go ahead and give some tips. If you're considering buying a robot lawnmower, some things you should consider to make sure you get the one that's going to work best for you. If you already have one, and it maybe last year was your first year with it, some things to be aware of and take care of and check out as you get ready for the new season. So let's get into some of the tips, tricks, and what to think of before you buy your mower. Robot lawnmowers are much like robot vacuums inside our houses. They have to have some way to navigate around your property. They're using things like GPS and cameras and lasers and LiDAR and satellites and all kinds of crazy different ways to navigate around your yard to cut the grass, and also to make sure they avoid things like trees, branches, toys, pets, people, all kinds of stuff. So one thing you may wonder is, which style of lawnmower navigation should you get? But it really depends on a few different things. So if you have a mostly open yard and you don't have a whole lot of trees, you could go with vision only, or you could go with RTK. So RTK is going to require a separate piece of equipment. It's going to require a stake with an antenna on it, and it helps to talk to satellites in the sky and talk to the mower and keep everything in order of where it needs to be in your yard. That can be nice, but if you've got things like trees and bushes and areas that the mower's has to go into, that can be disruptive for getting a signal to it, and either your mower can get lost or think it's outside of its mapped area. Going with vision only, where they're using cameras and AI to help to navigate and stay within the mapped areas, can be a great option. Because when you have something like that, it's able to see the edges of the path and continue mowing regardless of any kind of interference from trees or bushes around. The downside is, if you don't have a very well-defined yard, sidewalks, fences, or something like that, the vision navigation can be a problem because it'll want to wander off into areas. So even with the grass that I have here, if I wanted to run a vision-only mower here, it wouldn't work well because we've got vague edges on the side, and it would try to go into those trees and things like that, and it would just be a huge problem. Vision only can be really helpful. If you've got a defined yard and it's clear to see where your property ends and starts and where your lawn is and things like that, they can be super easy. Set them out there, hit go, they'll map themselves and take care of everything for you. Really simple, but they're not going to work well for a yard that's not properly defined or has clear boundaries. RTK is great for a lot of different things. That separate piece of equipment can be a pain and may not want to deal with that. The other option that's out there is LiDAR. So this is a technology that has been seen in cars, like electric cars for self-navigating and things like that. LiDAR is a big deal for that. And it's combining a few different technologies, but basically is what it's doing is it is creating a 3D map of its area using cameras as well as a LiDAR sensor, and it is able to keep track and know exactly where it is with pinpoint accuracy. It's pretty scary how accurate and the way these things can map. There are some mowers out there like the Mower Light-Axe Ultra 2000 I'm testing, where it'll actually give you a 3D rendering of what it sees for your property, and it'll show power lines, trees, sidewalks, all kinds of stuff. So those don't need any extra equipment. They can navigate around, get underneath bushes, things like that, and not have any issues with signal. I think LiDAR is a great option. There can be some downsides from time to time. It can get confused by things that may not be an obstacle or maybe an obstacle, but sometimes that can just come down to software tuning. Because aside from the LiDAR sensor, like I said, they're also using cameras for AI vision. And this is something that's going to be seen across most modern lawnmowers, whether that is RTK, LiDAR, and of course on the vision. So here's our example of an RTK mower. So the mower itself has got cameras on the front side, and it communicates with its docking base, which communicates with this, the RTK tower, that helps with its positioning. And so this communicates to the dock and the tower communicate with the mower to help keep everything in sync so it knows where it's at. And then on top here is our LiDAR for navigation. So it's using LiDAR to map everything out to recognize objects, as well as using the cameras on the front side of it on this mower. So that's the navigation side of things. Let's talk about how they actually get around. So just like when you're looking at buying a car or a truck or an SUV, you're going to consider whether it's a two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive. This is the same situation with your lawn care. So when you're looking at buying a robot lawnmower, You're gonna have two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options. And each of those have their own variations in each category. But let's take it to the basics. Two-wheel drive is going to two rear or two front driven wheels, and then two or a single floating wheel that just helps it spin when it goes to turn around and go to different places. And this is the Mower Light-X Ultra 2000 that we're testing, which is a rear wheel drive mower. So we've only got two power wheels in the back, and the front has just a free spinning wheels underneath it to help it stay, balanced and doesn't fall over. So obviously you can see out here where I'm walking now, using that, you're not going to be getting anywhere with a two-wheel drive mower. There's too many potholes and uneven ground on this type of a path. Now I hope your lawn isn't as rough as this, but if it is, you're going to want to consider doing an all-wheel drive option. This, just like it sounds, you got four wheels on it and all of them are powered and all of them are moving the vehicle. This can help with hills, ruts, sticks, just obstacles in your pathway. Maybe you've got a natural stone walkway, and an all-wheel drive would do far better getting across that than a two-wheel drive model would. So that's something to consider. There's definitely an option out there. When you look at something like these all-wheel drive mowers, the one thing to keep in mind is you want to make sure the front wheels have some way to spin or rotate. And when I say rotate, I mean mainly because if you look at something like the Mammotion Luba series, it's a wheel with wheels on it. So when it turns, those wheels are fixed, but the slider wheels on the outside help it turn. These are important for not tearing up your yard. So there are new models out now that have got powered wheels that will physically turn themselves as well as help drive the motor, all to help with navigation, not as far as knowing where it is, but navigating terrain and to help it not tear up your yard. So these are something important to keep an eye on when you're looking at the type of mower you're going to use. There is another style of drivetrain on these things beside the two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. And those are tracks. Now there are a couple mowers out there that I know of, Limo being one, as well as Yarbo, that use tracks like a tank track or an excavator or cat or something like that to help move around. These are really interesting as well because obviously they're going to be able to turn perfectly in a circle in one spot. They're also not going to have issues as far as ditches or holes or things like that. Or going to be less of an issue for these because they're not going to get a single wheel drop down side of it. So a bunch of options out there. It's really going to depend on the terrain that you have and what type of issues you think that your mower may run into because of that. So we talk about things that you're going to want to do once you get your mower and you start working with it and get it set up. First step is making sure when you choose your location for the docking station. This is where it's going to charge, it's going to help it navigate and keep tabs on everything and do all the work for you. Wherever you put that, the grass will be killed. It's going to take care of all that underneath it. So if you don't want a spot in your yard to get killed out, maybe put on a concrete pad, put it somewhere out of the way where it's not going to be noticeable. So that's one thing. The other part is keep in mind when you're mowing, where it's going to be mowing and the map and the path it's going to take to get there. So there are, when you get a vision-based mower, it's purely vision-based and will map itself. Go out there, look at everything, and take care of that for you. Now, there you can get an RTK or LiDAR mower with cameras that will do auto mapping for you as well, and it'll take care of that for you. But you can also jump in and do it manually. Now, when you're doing that, walk your yard before. Whether you're doing auto mapping or manual mapping, walk around your yard and make sure you have an idea of the path that's going to be taken on the outside edges. There's not going to be any hills or obstacles in the way, because it's going to be really frustrating when you're mapping and then you run into a situation you have to back out and redo it, erase part of it. Some mowers make it easier than others, but if you do it before and you check before you start to do your mapping, you'll be better off in the long run to begin with. So make sure you do that. You can see here, Yarbo's stuck. This is because I didn't recheck the map or recheck the mowing conditions after the season. So it's already mowed this area before, and we're just kind of getting that first round down before the weeds start coming into this area. And this winter and this spring, I cleared out some trees in this area right here where it used to not be able to get into because there were trees in the way. Now Yarbo can get in there, and I forgot about that, and obviously we've gotten stuck, so now I got to unstick it. So make sure you check your property between seasons, whether you've changed something intentionally or unintentionally. Things can change. Double check everything before you run your mower, and you can avoid stuff like this happening. The other thing you're going to want to take care of is if you've got your yard split into two separate areas, so say you got a driveway that separates two parts of your yard or a sidewalk or something like that. If you don't make it one big area, you're going to need to connect those two. So that'll be done using the app and create a virtual path. But if those two sections are separated by a fence or a tall walkway that maybe your mower can't get over, you're gonna have to take care of that manually, whether it's opening the gate or driving the mower around that wall to get to where you need to go. So there's a couple things to keep in mind when you're planning out your mowing path, where you're gonna be setting up everything for your mower. Well, there you have it. There's my tips and tricks and things to consider before you buy your robot lawnmower. Before you get out, I have a couple more last bonus tips for you. Set your expectations properly. These devices are really cool. They can do a lot of things. They're still learning, they're still growing, and while they're far more capable now than they were even 3 years ago, set your expectations. These aren't going to be out there mowing down your lawn when it's got 6 inches of growth on it and knocking it down to 3 inches. That's not how these work. They're using little razor blades meant for maintaining your yard. So if you have a yard that's already getting a bit overgrown, knock it down first with a traditional mower, pay that high school kid to come out and mow your yard, bust out the old gas guzzler and get it knocked out first. Then put your robot lawnmower on it and let it run. Keep it maintained and it'll do great. Your lawn will actually be healthier because you're gonna have little bitty pieces of grass getting dropped on it frequently to keep it fertilized rather than big chunks of grass that are gonna kill it out. That's the first. Second, do your research, watch reviews, watch my reviews, but watch reviews, read your reviews, make sure you get educated on what mower is gonna work for you best. There are some inexpensive mowers out there and they're going to be fine for very specific situations, but there are also some very bad products out there that can be an issue. This is true in every products category, regardless what it is, whether it is for a mixer in your kitchen or a robot lawnmower, there's bad products out there. Do your research, set your expectations, have fun, mess around with these things. They're not for everybody. You can get a push mower and hire a high school kid, get a lawn tractor. Yes, you can do all those things. It's gonna cost you time, it's gonna cost you fuel, maintenance, fumes, noise, all that good stuff's gonna be part of it. I save dozens of hours a month with robot lawnmowers on my property. So it is a very helpful thing. It frees my time up to make more videos, frees time up to go camping, hang out with my family, and not be outside mowing. So, not for everybody, great for some people. If you have any questions, drop down below. Let's have a conversation. There's a lot of cool things coming out with robot lawnmowers this year, and I've shown you a few that I'm working with, and I've got a lot more on the way to show off for the year. So let's talk about these things. What's going on? What do you think is going to be the next big thing for robot lawnmowers? What do you hope is? What do you want to see gone from robot lawnmowers? What is a feature or a style or an issue that you see frequently and you want to see fixed? Like and subscribe. If you can, it helps the channel a ton. Doesn't cost you anything and it really helps out the channel. Hit the bell icon if you want to know when those new videos post. And thanks for sticking around. Look forward to seeing the next video.